Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. John Peckman Podcast. Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge. Go through. I keep getting very twisted up. I don't care how you get here. Be like Chuck. Come from the other way. How'd you do that? You came from somewhere.
I passed the building.
That's right. You can have your own podcast right here in our studio. Dave will tell you how if you listen till the very, very end. Like and subscribe. Come on the show with me. Recommend people. We are here today with drummer extraordinaire, Mr. Chuck Peterson. There he is.
I'm here.
Hey, man.
Finally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Finally. Yeah, we've been trying to do this.
Yeah.
For a while.
Absolutely.
Sitting on my keys.
Probably for about a good 6 months.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're here. You know, things happen when they happen.
At long last, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So Chuck is a drummer. He can tell us all about himself. What are you doing these days that we should know about drum-wise?
Drum-wise.
Yeah.
I teach and I do recording sessions. I do live gigs with a bunch of different people. So just, you know, I'm all over the place. I'm everywhere. I have my own band called The Adventures of Thaddeus Black.
Hey.
So
that's cool.
It's an all black rock group.
Hey.
It's a lot of fun.
Like Fishbone.
Pretty much.
Like Living Color.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Actually, those guys are our inspiration.
Hey.
So.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Yeah. I'm a fan of both, but particularly Fishbone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Fishbone soldier from way back, as they say.
My theme song is "I Wish I Had a Date."
Yeah. Yeah. Deep cut.
It is a deep cut.
Deep cut. Yeah. Cool. Tell us some of the bands you're playing with.
Again, I have my own band, The Adventures of Thaddeus Black. I just recently joined up with Growing Giants. That's a Tracy's band, Tracy Walton's.
That's
band.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Cool.
just recently joined up with them.
Cool.
Been playing with Elliot Lewis from
right.
Hall & Oates and Live from Daryl's House for a couple of years. He's doing his solo thing now,
cool.
So he's doing it by himself, and he's doing really well with it. So
Yeah.
I miss him though. You know, we always keep in touch. And
What does he play? Which one's he?
he plays everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he started off on drums.
Oh wow.
He started off as a drummer. And then he wound up playing keyboard and learned how to play guitar.
Yeah.
So now he plays everything.
Oh
so,
wow.
Yeah,
hey, that's cool.
Multi-instrumentalist.
And who is he on the show? What is he usually?
He plays the keyboards on the show.
Oh okay.
He's the tall blonde dude with the glasses all the time, kind of like me.
To keep an eye out. Yeah, that's cool. Cool.
But besides being tall and blonde, it's just the glasses really. But
that's his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just whoever calls me that needs a drummer for a session, I go and I do that.
Yeah.
If they need me for a gig, I go and do that.
Yeah.
So I'm all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. Hey, that's cool. Yeah. Same here. You know, the usual.
Yeah, I've seen some of your videos of at Tracy's studio.
Oh yeah.
Cutting tracks, man. You sound great. So,
oh, thanks.
Yeah, you sound
great. Yeah. No, I love playing there.
Yeah, it's a great vibe.
Yeah, it is. It's good sound in the room. You know, it just you notice like playing an acoustic instrument, you're at the mercy of the way the room sounds.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like, so I have a sound. I mean, I guess we all do. But I have a particular sound in mind of what I think the drums are supposed to sound like, so I can express myself. And then when they don't sound like you think they should, it's weird because then I have to adjust. And there's something about that room. It just sounds like it's supposed to.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Just play.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like I'll have people send me tracks.
Yep.
So I can kind of get a vibe of what the track is. And then from doing that, I know which cymbals I'm going to use. Yep. I know which snare drum I'm going to use, what size toms I'll use, that kind of thing if I have my choice. But as far as like the toms go anyway.
Yeah.
Because if they already have a drum set up, they have that set up for a reason.
Yeah, right.
You know, so I'm at their mercy.
But your stuff always sounds good there.
Thank you. So yours.
Well, but you know what you're going to get when you get up there.
Absolutely.
Because the room sounds like it's supposed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. So take us to the beginning. So this I did not know. Just as a side, part of me wants to say why I didn't know this, but then I'm like, well, why would I? I didn't quite put two and two together. But we had your dad is Keith LeBlanc.
Yes.
Who was here for 2 in a row because it was kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I thought I kind of knew, and then once I got into it, I was like, whoa, this is kind of heavy. And he kept talking about his son, and I did not know that was. I knew you, but I did not know that was you.
Present.
Yeah, I know. It was so funny. And you reached out. You're like, hey, nice interview with my dad. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, now, now it makes sense. That's funny.
And you did an interview with my roommate Matt Chersky.
Oh, that. There you go. That's right.
It's all family, man.
Yeah.
It's all
family. Oh yeah. No, Matt's hilarious. Did you watch? Did you see his episode?
I did.
Yeah. We had to bust out of the. We needed another camera angle.
Yeah, because he had all his.
He had a plan. He showed up with that. It's so funny. And you know him. He's so funny. He's like, look, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, but I got this idea. I'm like, no, it's good. Ideas are good. Like, don't worry about it. And he's like, is that okay? I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
okay.
he's very nice like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like, of course, we got to do it.
He's a nice dude.
Yeah, it's funny.
Love that guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? That reminds me again. I forget who else, but we're hatching another plan. I had another drummer. One of these days, this will give me an excuse. I always say this. I say the same stuff, and then I never do it. But we can do another setup. We can do a roundtable setup, and we should have drummer roundtable.
That would be great.
Yeah. So let's get you, Matt, me, Paul Pedro.
Yeah.
So
Paul. I love Paulie.
All right. You know what? Let the record show. Somebody remind me that I said this, but that sounds like a good lineup there. And maybe somebody else, maybe not. Who knows? But that would be good.
Yes. That'd be great. It kind of goes back to the days of when the Modern Drummer magazine.
Right. Remember those? Yeah.
Yes. Robin Flans. She used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember those. Oh yeah. I read all of those. Yeah. The Drummers Roundtable.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll start our own thing.
That would be great, man. That would be cool.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Now that I'm realizing who all knows who, it's like, oh, well, that'll be fun. That'll be easy.
Yeah, it was actually through Chersky that I was like, oh man, I should.
Oh yeah, right.
Contact him.
Why not?
Because he was on here. I was like, yeah, I know John Peckman. You know, so yeah.
I made at one point when I first started doing this, I made a huge master list, and then I lost it. But you were on the list because, I would cruise through Facebook and go, okay, I got to chop some wood. These are all the people.
Right.
And you were there. And then I lost the list and kind of forgot. And then you would pop up and then, okay, finally. But none of that matters now because you're here.
I'm here.
Yes. Yeah, cool. So take us to the beginning. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get involved in music? How did it all start?
I grew up all over Connecticut, really. So we moved around a lot, but I was born in Waterbury.
Okay.
So Waterbury Hospital, representing.
Hey, that's where I got my first vaccine. Actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was kind of psyched at the time when we thought it was one and done.
Right.
I was like, thanks, Waterbury, for saving my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Waterbury Hospital. That's where I was born. And yeah, again, we lived all over the place. We lived in Ansonia, lived in Waterbury, Watertown, all over. And my inspiration actually came through Keith.
Hey,
so
I bet
came through him. I think my earliest memory was we were at a hotel, and I don't know if he had to do a TV date or a session, but he had all his drums out, and he was changing the heads.
Hey,
so
what's that?
When I saw those drums hanging out on the bed, I was like, that's what I want to do. I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, you could just see everything laid out. Yeah.
And so I asked him, I remember asking him to buy me a drum set that day. And he's like, well, he goes, I can't fit all these drums in there. So he actually bought me a guitar just so he could at least get me interested.
Yeah.
So my poor mother, I said, can I bring my guitar to church? She goes, sure. Right. So I could play with the worship team. And so I bring it to church. I start strumming and then we're playing. The band stops playing, but I keep going.
Oh boy.
And so my mom's like, you can stop now.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to bring the guitar to church anymore.
Well, you learned how to play though pretty quick. It sounds like.
No, I never knew.
You were just.
I was just wrong chords and everything.
Okay.
So I probably mostly tipped the guitar over and started tapping on the back of it because I really wanted to play drums.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to join the school band. We had moved to Southington. I wanted to join the school band in second grade, but they said, "No, you can't join until you're in third grade."
Oh, okay.
So, is there any other activities that you want to join up with? And I said, "No, I'll wait."
Wow. You're like, I'm going on strike.
Yeah, pretty
I'm
much.
just gonna do nothing.
So when third grade hit,
Hey.
I joined the school band.
Hey, man.
And I've been playing. I mean, I've been playing since I was 4, but I've been playing.
So you just wait. The minute you saw those drums, you're just like, I'll wait.
Yeah,
I'll wait.
that's it. I will wait.
That's cool. That's cool.
My daddy would put me on his lap, and this is what he told me. I don't remember this,
Yeah.
but he said he put me on his lap, and he would play something,
Sure.
and he would have me repeat it, and he said I was able to do it.
Hey, man.
I don't remember this. And then my uncle, he was telling me I used to stand in front of the speaker when the record was going, and I would move back and forth to the tempo of the song perfectly. So the only thing I remember is those little green army men.
Yep.
Because I love record players. To this day, I'm obsessed with records.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that.
So I remember, this is what I remember. I remember taking those little green army men and putting them on the record player and putting it up to the highest speed.
Yeah, so they just spin off.
And they just zoom, they just zip right off. So I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So.
And then you went to stop it, the turntable, and then you invented scratching.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, hey.
And
no,
and find scratches in the record.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, that's cool. I don't know if this is a shout out, but I was do you know I went there today for the first time. It was so bizarre. A place called Uncle Joe's Records in Cromwell.
I've heard of it.
All right, I don't know what's going on up there, but so literally I live in Berlin. It's on, the main drag there in Cromwell and right off Route 21.
Okay.
And yesterday I went to Dunkin' Donuts, the drive-thru, and I saw a sign that said Uncle Joe's Records, and I was like, "What? A what? A record store?" So I Googled it, and there's it's a record store. It's look really cool. It's like a coffee shop / record store, and I'm like, how could this be? How do I not know about this? I'm looking at the pictures and reviews, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be heavy. So I went on the way here, and it was ridiculously hard to find. I was like, is this a dream? And I'm like, no, there's a sign. And there was like a house building, and it was a barber shop, and you had to drive around. There was no way you could find it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was around the back. I'm like, is this real? And I look, and it said online that they were open. And I get up, and the sign on the door said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday closed. And I'm like, oh, well.
Oh.
And it looks like, and I go up, and the door opens, and I'm just like, is this real? And I go in, and it was super clean, really neat. There was like a young girl working there who didn't say a word, which was fine. This is a theme with me lately. I'm like, come on, kids, you gotta at least,
Right.
And but it was like the barber shop was over on the other side of the building, and there was no. I was like, who's in charge here? I don't understand.
Right.
But
it's like Home Alone. It's like all kids, no parents.
Yeah, right. But it was they had a lot. They had a lot of new, but they had a lot of old. Kind of maybe pricey, maybe not, but I was amazed. I was like, "Oh, this is a real spot." And then
there's a lot of places. There's like Red Scroll.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Records.
Yep.
There's I forgot the name of it. The place in Canton. They sell vinyl.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yep.
Trading Post out back. I think, is that what it is?
I don't remember.
All right, I gotta get out there.
But yeah, no, it's great. It's like
yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's crazy. My thing is I get. I couldn't bore you. We don't have enough time. I like bizarre I get it. I look for the dollar racks. I go to the thrift racks. You know,
Yeah.
I don't care about a $15 mint
Record,
pressing
right.
of something. I used to, whatever. I want the weird stuff. And the thing that I discovered, they do this at Red Scroll. They did this at this place too. Is their $1, $5 budget racks. They put down. They make it really hard for you to get.
Oh yeah,
through.
you got to get down like on
So
your
it's
knees.
painful.
Yeah,
It's pain. And that's what I do at Red Scroll. I'm like, it's like deep sea diving. I'm like, okay, go. And I crouch down and try and get through as many as I can until my legs start burning and I have to stand up. And I'm like, because they don't make it easy.
No,
Why
not
would
at all.
they? And it's packed so tight that you can't even, you have to take some out. And it's like this whole
You should
thing.
bring some of your short friends where it's not as difficult for them. And
I was thinking of bringing a stool, but they probably would be like, no, you can't.
Can't do that.
Yeah, like it's got to be difficult. Like a little scooter.
Right.
But this place did that too. It was like I was like, what's under here? Are these? And she's like, those are the bargain. And I'm like, oh, so there I was crouched down
right.
like an idiot. But I found, what did I get today? I got a Sam Cooke record from the 50s. It was one of the earliest RCA. He was still, they were singing standards and it was a first pressing.
Oh wow.
$5. I'm like, and it was stereo. And I'm like, I'll have this. And I forget what else I got. I got a couple of No Nukes concert in 1979. It was like a 3-record set with all photos of all, and I was like, yeah, well, yeah. And Mad Dogs and Englishmen, a Joe Cocker record, but it's a giant open, all photos. $5, take it. No, I got some stuff.
That's crazy.
What do you look for?
Man, I look for anything I can. I just, if I see something that catches my eye, like I wanted to get the Thundercat Drunk album, but that was expensive.
Oh, really?
I can't.
Yeah.
But I think I got a George Benson record, the one with "Lady Love Me" on it. And it's one of my favorite songs when I was a kid. Still is till this day.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I bought that record and found out that one of my friends wrote a song for George Benson on that particular record, Adam Falcon.
Hey. And you didn't know it at the time.
I didn't know it at the time, so it was like it was cool to see that. I was like, oh, nice.
That's
pretty
cool.
I knew he worked with George, but I didn't know what record, and it happened to be the one that my favorite George Benson song was on.
Hey, man.
So
it's like a one-stop. Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, Red Scroll's awesome. I got this place was a little it was kind of cool. But it wasn't laid out in categories. It was just alphabetical everything.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because you can take your time and chill. But Red Scroll is like expertly curated. Like I was getting into I gotta stop talking about me. I was getting into dulcimer when we came out of, we were in lockdown. I decided I was gonna play this wacky instrument, and then I'm like, I want to get some records. And I literally, in Berlin, I got up off the couch, I drove down to Red Scroll, and I went to the folk section, and I scored 5 dulcimer records, just boom, for like $3 each or whatever, just boom, 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 boom. Okay. And then I went back home. I was like, they had exactly, like you think Red Scroll, they're into metal or they're into, they have
they have everything there. Yeah. Everything.
Yeah. So I go into the folk racks, and I'm just like, okay, perfect. This is exactly what I need. Went right home and started learning songs off the record. So shout out to Red Scroll.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll see about Uncle Joe or whatever. It was nice. It was a nice store. It was clean.
That's awesome.
But yeah, anyway. Then what? You're drumming now.
I'm drumming. So now, drumming in the high school band, which was, I drummed in the elementary school band. The first song the third graders had to play by ourselves was Puff the Magic Dragon. That was the longest 3 minutes of my life.
A song about marijuana.
Yeah. So we had to play it painfully slow. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, oh my God, let this be over. Yeah. And my mom is, I'm trying not to crack up because she's there with the camera taking pictures, making funny faces, like popping up out of nowhere, just like, ding, and I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. This song needs to end right now.
That's what moms are for.
Yeah. But I guess for me, it was a little bit cheesy because growing up, I was listening to Weather Report.
Yeah, sure.
I was listening to Mahavishnu Orchestra. I was listening to everything.
Yeah.
But
You're waiting.
those records were standing out to me, and here I am. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. I was like, what is this?
Well, you're ahead of it. Like you say, you're ahead of everybody. You got to wait.
Well,
you got to wait for them to catch up.
Yeah, and that was due to my dad, because he was playing all that stuff.
Right.
Right. And so it was great to get to meet some of those drummers that played on that stuff.
Yeah.
It was quite awesome. But so I played throughout junior high school.
And this is in Southington?
Well, no.
Or wherever.
Junior high school was in Middletown.
Okay.
And high school is in Merritt and Platte High School.
Oh, okay.
So shout out to Mr. Peters, who he passed away our junior year, but he was one of the greatest, just one of the greatest dudes ever, you know. So made that band feel like a family.
Yeah, I grew up in Wallingford, so I didn't know that system, but we all have them.
Yeah,
That's killer.
Yeah. And so after high school, I went to college for sound recording. That didn't work out for me too well because I like performing.
Hey,
so
where did you go?
I went to University of New Haven.
Oh,
in West Haven.
Yeah. Sure.
And so, but yeah, I like being on the drums. I like playing. I like performing. I like recording. You know, just being the guy on the instrument.
Yeah.
So I kind of abandoned the whole sound thing, and
you must learn something though. It's got to be helpful.
I learned how much money I have to pay for college.
Oh boy.
No, school was never I wasn't great at school.
Yeah.
I wasn't great at any type of schooling at all. I always got horrible grades. I needed special help. And
what made you? Why did you think that was going to be the thing? It just at the moment.
What?
Engineering.
Because technically I didn't want to go to college.
Yeah.
I pretty much had to. It's like, no, you have to go to college. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to go to college.
Yeah. But not drumming. That didn't.
No, well, I did apply at Berkeley.
Okay.
I applied at Berkeley, and I actually got in.
Hey.
But there was a guy that I knew. He's dead now, but he discouraged me from going. He goes, I went there. You'll never make it. You're not good enough. So I was like, okay.
Oh.
So I didn't go.
You think he was right or no?
Knowing
what you know.
There's parts of me that is glad I didn't go because I know some people that come out of there, they're very like regimented in how music should be written and played and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be like that. I wanted to.
So it's kind of a good thing.
Yeah. It was a blessing.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
But I also wonder, okay, what would have happened if I went, because I probably would have gotten picked up and gone on tour with somebody and all that stuff. But I think God had me on a path where I needed to be on to heal from a lot of things before I was able to do what I was supposed to do. And because I probably would have screwed everything up. And
right.
I'd be doing something I don't want to do, be miserable, an angry old man.
Gotcha.
You know? So I was bitter and angry in my 20s, and now I'm like happy in my 40s.
Oh, that's cool.
So
where do you hit your 50s?
Well, I just turned 45 this past Wednesday, so I'll be there in 5 years.
Yeah.
I'll be there in 5 years. So, but no, life is great right now. I may not be where I want to be, but I know I'm supposed to be where I am supposed to be, and I know it'll things will get better and pick up. Yeah. So I'm just working hard.
Where do you want to be?
I'd like to make more money.
Well, yeah.
No, I mean, I like to be constantly busy. Doing studio stuff. Yep. Touring with my band and whatnot. So
just more.
Yeah, just more of it. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing it and I love it.
Yeah.
I just want to do more of it and put more money in the bank account.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah.
You feel like you can do. I guess. Does it matter anymore where you are? I mean, I was going to say, do you think you can do it here? But it's not like it used to be.
I don't think it matters because I've cut records for while in Connecticut. I've cut records for people in Los Angeles.
Sure.
I've cut records for people in Arizona, in upstate New York. So, and I've done some travel. Like I this past March, I was actually down in Nashville to do a recording session down there.
Hey, man.
So
pretty cool.
If people say, "Oh yeah, we want you to come and travel," I'll do it. But I mean, I think I've always wanted to move to LA.
Yeah.
But everybody's leaving LA. you know.
Yeah.
And so
It seems like it. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
yeah, it seems like a mass exodus.
Yeah.
With that.
Is that what's going on?
I think because I'm seeing a lot of people. They're now in Nashville. You know,
I see.
They're
So I guess it just happens, right? Things they ping pong around.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why. You know, it's like, well, if everybody's leaving Los Angeles, maybe if I move out there, I'll get all the work.
Yeah, right.
That's how I see it. But no, there are still quite a few people there. But I just see like
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people they're leaving LA and moving somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they can still be in the
Right.
music scene.
You know Matt? Do you know Matt Starr? You know Matt?
I do, but
Kinda
I don't.
same scenario.
He when I was in college, he was actually one of my recording projects.
Oh.
His band.
Oh wow.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, he was playing guitar at the time.
Yeah, the Flames.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And so
oh, that's funny.
Recorded a great song and excuse me. So no, Matt's a great dude. I haven't talked to him since, but I've seen him, you know, seen him on videos, you know, at Tracy's studio and all that stuff.
Well, that's his thing. Is like
Yeah.
he went to LA and got everything kind of up and running. And I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but it's like he came back here and is working because he can work from wherever.
Right.
So it's like, well, I want to be near my family, you know, now that I got enough, you know, he got enough things up and running.
Yeah.
I don't have to be, well, I mean, he was in LA for years kind of getting it going, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think it really matters, you know, but
you like LA.
I do.
Yeah. I've only been there once, so
I've been there a few times. I actually spent 2 weeks out there, and I was like, oh, this is great. But, you know, I think again, I wanted to get out of Connecticut to escape.
Yeah.
But again, with a lot of personal healing that I'm doing and realizing who my true friends are and sticking close to them is changing my heart and my mind a little bit. And be like, oh, well, I don't
need to run.
Right.
Yeah.
I can stay planted where I'm at. But if I feel the need to really absolutely leave, I'll do it. But I haven't felt that just yet, you know?
Well, you know, if Chersky doesn't stop hassling you where you live, you might have to run away from Chersky. I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
No,
is that like an odd couple type scenario? Who's who? Or you guys? It works.
Everything works, man. Because we're both.
Well, you're adults. I mean, he's an adult.
That too.
Yeah.
But we're both like chill people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So he's not like fuck you.
Yeah.
He's
not
like,
be like this.
He goes. Oh, it's just a reminder, you know.
Yeah.
He's very cool about it.
Yeah.
You know. So, and those are the type of people I get along with. Is people who's like, oh, you know, just and Elliot Lewis is like that. You know, working for him.
Yeah.
You know, instead of being like, oh, I don't like the way you did this. I need you to do it.
Yeah.
He's not like that. He goes, hey man, you sound great.
Yeah.
But can you try?
Yeah. Sure.
Can you try this?
Sure. Yeah.
You know, so it's just like,
well, don't you think it goes a long way when it's someone that you respect though, musically, it's easier to take direction because you're just like, oh, I would be curious to hear how they think something should be. It's almost like a learning process where you're like, oh, okay. You know?
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's more of your approach.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I've done gigs where people have approached me in a nasty way.
Sure. We all have.
And there's like this rebel in me that wants to be like, no, I'm not gonna do it. You know, but you know, I'm getting paid, so it's like, okay, yeah, sure. But it's my decision whether I'm going to work with them again or not.
Right. Oh yeah, you got that right.
You know, so that's what it comes down to. So you know, if they're nasty to me, you know, it's like okay, you know, I'll take it in stride.
Cross this off the list.
Right, but it's like if they call me again, I don't have to do it.
Yeah,
you know, it's my choice.
Yeah, I hear you.
So,
yeah, well, like you say, you got to get to the point where if you have to take, because we've all been there. I mean, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I probably will be there again. When you have to take all the work that you can,
Yeah,
sometimes you just got to grin and bear it.
pretty much. Yep.
But hopefully if you get to the point where, like my thing is lately, I just don't really want to do anything unless it's better than things I've done before.
I hear you.
And then, so you just kind of like shut the door a little bit, but then better things are kind of coming through. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Not as much of it, but that's okay too. You know? Just like, all right.
Again, it depends. For me, it depends on, how jovial the person is. If,
Sure.
if they say, hey, Chuck, I got this gig for you. It's, it's at a crappy bar or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're really nice people.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, man, yeah, I'll do it for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I like who you are as a person.
Yeah,
right. And we're having fun.
Sure.
I want what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if it's something where, it may be, I hate saying this, but where I'm not playing with the best musicians, but if they're awesome people and we're having fun, I'll do it because
sure.
because it's like,
Sure.
I'm having a good time. And that's why I got into music in the first place, is because
Gotcha.
I want it to be fun. I want to go back to that childhood love of music.
Yeah.
But if you're going to start putting pressure on me about stuff and be like,
that's no fun.
And be rude about it and be mean about it, then, but like you said, if sometimes we have to grin and bear it. And so sometimes I have to, and I do, but I just kind of put a smile on my face and say, yeah, man, I'll do it, and, it'll be fun. And I make the best of it.
Yeah, sure.
I smile, I laugh. Even if I make a mistake, I just laugh.
Yeah.
Where before, if I made a mistake, I'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
get away from me.
Yeah.
I suck.
Yeah.
But now I'm just kind of like,
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just make the same mistake over and over. That's usually what I do.
I do that too. It's like, I meant to do it the first time. It may sound like a mistake, but it wasn't. Listen to how brilliant that is.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I just try to approach things in a more positive way than I used to.
Yeah.
And just be, courteous and kind, and because this world is a cold, cruel, hard place, and I don't want to contribute to that.
Yeah.
I want to contribute to.
I hear that.
To kindness.
Yeah. No, I think that sounds good to me. Yeah, definitely. All right. So you're not interested in the engineering end of it. And then was it then that you kind of started playing more actively? Like at that point you're like, okay, I got to get it together.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of.
Pretty much. Yeah. I got hooked up with Jamie Starchild, Jamie Brennan McDonald.
Oh yeah.
We were in a band together.
Oh, cool.
And so that was kind of like the catalyst for me that really kicked off.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do for a living.
Yeah.
So it was that, and then moved on to other bands, and started getting recording sessions.
Yeah.
For, I don't know how I got into the whole recording thing, because I remember my first recording I did. I must have been like 17 or 18 years old, and I was just like, yeah, this is not my thing. I'm more of a live drummer, because I couldn't play to a click at the time.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
My dad was brilliant, and he knew I couldn't play to a click, so he goes, you should do, you have really fun with it. I go, what? He goes, practice to records.
Yeah, sure.
And that's all he said.
Right. Yeah. We talked about that.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I started practicing the records.
Right.
And then the next thing I know, I don't know what I had to play to a click for something, and suddenly I could play to a click.
Right.
And I was like,
yeah,
that sneaky son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's
because I figured out what he was doing. He's like, this is is a great way to play to a click without playing to a click.
Right.
Right.
Real quick, I don't know if it was like this for you. I realize how lucky I got. If I have said this before in other interviews, I'm sorry. I'll try to speed past it, but that's what I did too. I didn't know what a click was.
Yeah.
But when I was young, I got one of the records in the house that just happened to be laying around when I decided to really start banging on drums was the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. I was all about it.
Yeah.
So I would just play to all the songs, and you realize that, like, well, they cut those to a click. You know, I was playing there was like a 9-minute version of Disco Inferno or something.
Yeah.
I would just play along to that.
And I think
And it helped.
I think Staying Alive is actually a drum machine.
Yeah, it very well could be. Yeah.
Well, because I heard the story because there was a drummer that the Bee Gees hired and he wasn't available.
Oh boy.
So I think they wound up getting a drum machine to do the track.
Yeah.
You know?
But like you say, just to lock right along to it.
Yeah.
I realized, well, okay, like you say, I'm playing to a click, but not.
Right.
And I got lucky. I mean, I'm not trying to diss anybody, but like if I only did that to, like, you know, like to Rush Records or something, I wouldn't develop that sense of just pocket.
Right.
And that was just from that one record. And then everything had to have that kind of pocket to it in order for me to, like, really feel comfortable with it. You know, whatever.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Get lucky. Yeah.
Yep.
No, your dad's he's a smart guy.
He's a very smart guy.
And then you learn how to fit too. Like we were talking about that when he was here. When you play the records, you know how to make it sound right too.
Yeah, because you're
set it just to a click.
Yeah, you're trying to understand why whoever's drumming on it, why they played it the way they did.
Right.
You know, by playing it exactly. It was like, and you can feel it. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, and then
what you wouldn't learn from playing just to a click.
Right. So when I actually started recording, doing recording sessions for people, and I would hear a tune, I'm like, okay, I could approach it this way.
Yeah.
Or I could approach it this way. Or so I would do different takes to see which one sounds best. And before I had everything like planned out in my head. How am I going to play?
Yeah.
And I wound up doing 20 takes. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to concentrate on the feel of the song and what I'm feeling at that moment, and not focus on what fill I'm going to do unless, it's needed. So I've learned to kind of just let go. Yeah. And just kind of play by feel, or in just recent years, I learned how to read music.
Hey,
drum,
cool.
Just playing in an orchestra and all that stuff. That kind of that, because I wanted to do it, and I was like, when I joined the orchestra, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But then I was like, well, the only way to do it is to do it. Sink or swim. Right. So that helped me tremendously, because then I'm writing it out. I'm seeing what I'm gonna play. Right. And I'm like, and it also saved my butt a few times, by doing that. Because there's a record I had to cut for an artist out in Los Angeles named Elf Queen. Okay. And I had to cut 17 songs. Ooh. For what they did was it wasn't for that one record. They made 2 records out of that. Okay. But I had to record them all at once, and there's a lot of stops. Yeah. There's a lot of, there's a lot of hits.
Chart that out.
So I had to write the charts, and it saved me. I was like, okay. So I was able to get them down in, 1 or 2 takes. I mean, I would woodshed them at home. Yeah. Yeah. And because if there was something I didn't like, I was like, let me not do that here. Let me do this here, blah, 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 blah. So by doing that, by charting it out, I was able to, boom.
Well, as a teacher, and we'll talk about your teaching, but I mean, I always tell my kids, like, I could play by ear pretty well. I got kind of far along, just like I had some sort of something or other. But I did learn when I got through school and they taught me how to read, it kind of made that other stuff make a little bit more sense. So I always try to tell my kids, I mean, obviously, if you have a student that it's going to totally mess with their mind, I go, don't worry about it. But speaking from experience, it sounds like you're saying the same thing, is like, it can help if you understand, just because the system of musical notation, it exists already. Just use it to your advantage. Right. In other words, it doesn't change the way you play. No. It doesn't have to. But in a case like this, like you say, if you got to chart out 17 tunes,
there's no way I can memorize them.
But that's what I say. I go, don't rely only on your memory, because eventually you're going to tap out. But if you can at least just kind of give yourself a refresher. So I encourage students to read, not only, but also.
Yeah, I've heard drummers say this. There's that fear of, well, if I learn how to read, that if I start reading on a gig, then I'll lose the feel.
No.
And I was like, no, you don't. You put that same feel in there.
Yeah.
You're just reading it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. The notes don't tell you.
Yeah. The notes don't tell you the feel. Like sometimes, when they hand me a score for the orchestra.
Yeah.
I see the groove. Was like, okay, this could be played in many different ways.
Yeah. The conductor's going to give you the groove.
Yeah. I got to hear how the tune is in order for me to know what the right thing to play is.
Right.
So.
Right. The notes are just what, not how.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless it says on the top swing, it's like, okay, I got the idea.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, then it's like, okay, let me wait until. So no, you don't. It doesn't dictate how you should play it. Feel wise.
Right.
It just tells you what notes to play.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if you don't know, like if you're new and you don't know that, you think it's either or. Like you say, either you're someone who plays from reading or someone who doesn't. It's like, no, I've never, I shouldn't say never, but I don't usually read on a gig or on a session.
Oh, I've done that.
I mean, I can,
yeah.
but it's nice to know that, like, I did the same thing. Playing with somebody, I had to shed, 30 something tunes for, the gigs in a month. I got to learn,
Right.
And I charted them all out, It's like, well, that's cool. Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to. Especially now that I'm all old and everything, I can't fit all that up here.
Well, yeah, for me, it's there's so much music I got to do. There's no way I can memorize.
Right.
Everything would start getting jumbled. It's like, okay, I'll be playing on stage. If I have food on me, I'll be eating the drumstick while I'm playing with a French fry.
Yeah.
That's how my brain would go. So writing the charts for me and reading them helps. And I've had to do a gig where I had to, no rehearsal, I had to read on the gig because they called me like on a Tuesday. Hey, I need you to do this gig on Friday. Can you do it? I'm like, yeah, send me the tunes. I'll write charts and staying up until 4 a.m. writing the charts and then playing along with it and then get to the gig. And I said, you don't mind if I read on the gig, do you? He's like, no, I know this is like short notice. So I had my charts on there and I'm playing and so it was just
whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's like, man, it sounds like you guys been playing for years. How long you been playing together?
Now. Yeah, we've been playing now this long. 3 songs in. We've been playing for 3 songs.
Yeah, pretty much. So
that's funny. Yeah, I hear you. No, I've been there.
And so it helps again when you have to cut a lot of records and people are asking you to do sessions. It's like, okay, let me sit and write charts and I can charge more.
Because you're an expert,
right?
Yeah.
Because I'm doing the work at home. So it's
like,
but I don't. I'm not like, well, it's gonna cost you like $2,000.
Right.
I'm not like that.
No,
I just,
of course
I try to be fair. But I do have to account for my time that I'm doing the work at home too.
Of course.
And not just in the studio.
I hear you.
Just a little lesson for you aspiring musicians who want to work.
That's right. Talk about your teaching real quick.
So I'm actually, I just came from teaching. I'm supporting the Rock House music school.
Yeah, I know John from, you know the John story? Go ahead. I've told it before. Funny.
No, the McCarthys, man, they're great. And being at that school is like family, but yeah, I've actually been teaching for over 20 something years.
Wow. That's awesome.
At JC Music sometimes, I was a student there when I was 15.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
And then circle. And then was teaching there for a little bit. And then but deeply involved with Rock House.
Yep.
And I have private students. So I teach them everything from, proper hand technique and the way how to sit at the drum set, which is stuff that my dad taught me.
Yeah.
And in my hand technique, I actually, God bless him.
Yeah.
I got a lesson from Chad Wackerman when I went to LA.
Oh boy.
About hand technique, and so he kind of opened my mind up to how to play. And because before, when I was playing, after 45 minutes, I was done.
Oh, interesting.
Like I couldn't do fills, like rolls or anything. So he helped me.
That's cool.
He helped me to develop my hands a little bit more and to play a little bit more relaxed, and so I can play for 2 hours. Without any problems now.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, he was a huge help. Wow. My dad was a huge help on how I sit at the drums. And pretty much the start of setting up my drums ergonomically. Ergonomically.
Yeah.
And so I've been very interested in that, and I took the whole pandemic, shutdown to like discover that. So that's stuff that I'll teach my students.
That's cool.
I'll teach them how to read. I'll work out of the stick control book, the syncopation book, and have them play different grooves with syncopation.
Oh boy!
And then we'll play the songs. So they could have some fun time and learn how to play with the song, learn how to play with the band, kind of like going back to the play along with records, click, that kind of thing, but they don't know it.
Well, they do now.
They do now. I won't tell any of my students to listen to this podcast.
Don't tell them nothing.
And so I try to teach them different types of music.
For sure,
because I that's how I grew up. And if you want to be a musician, a working musician, it's important to learn all different types of all different types of music, and it can be fun. Like I get bored playing one style.
I do too.
So
you got to have it all.
All
right, the quick John McCarthy story.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't remember how long ago this was. John would know. Ask him.
I will too.
Yeah, I know.
We bust each other's stones all the time. So
Vic Steffens.
Yes.
Studio. All right.
I know Vic.
Yeah, Vic calls me up one day. Can you play Sissy Strut? I said, yeah, I think so. Sure. He goes, can you play Sissy Strut tomorrow at 9 a.m? I said, down here. I said, sure. What? And he goes, can you play it with Leo from the Meters? I said, wow. I guess, sure. All right. So he goes, so John made a video. This is back in the day. I don't know how long ago it was.
Yeah.
But when he was making videos, he did a Leo from the Meters instructional video, and he just needed musical bed so he could roll the music and then Leo could demonstrate on top of it. So we're gonna play like 3 or 4 tunes minus guitar or whatever. He plays guitar. So anyway, so I'm like, all right. So I'm like a little nervous because I'm just like, this is the dude.
It's like, do I have to play exactly like Zigaboo did or what?
Which hello,
right?
I'm not Zigaboo. And I show up at the session. Everything's cool. All right, cool. Let's do your thing. And for whatever reason, the way Vic had the drums set up at that time, the drums were 100%. I was sitting with my back to the glass. So I couldn't even see. Leo was in the control room playing. So I didn't even, like at least you could tell if we're vibing or whatever. But I'm just sitting there and Leo's in there. And, as usual, I just said, do you want me to? I don't even, I got to be honest. I don't even think I knew how to actually play it then. I knew how to do my whack ass. And he goes, no, just do your thing. I'm just like, okay. But it's like, okay, let's see. He's going to play Sissy Strut. He's playing, I don't remember, but he played bass or guitar with just the two of us. And we start playing, and I have no clue. I'm like, I'm trying my best. I feel like, all right. I kind of get it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my thing, and then, Vic has this habit of, like, not a lot of talk back right away. So, like, we run through the track, and it's just like, just dead silence. And I'm just, like, sitting there.
I know where
like,
you're going
what
with
is
this.
going on behind my back? Is
this.
Leo, like, get this kid out of here or whatever? And then, Vic just after, sounds good, come on in. Just like, and Leo was cool. He was like, oh, you sound fine.
Right,
okay.
Right.
I don't know if, I don't think he was like, oh man, this guy's great. But I talk about nerve wracking, like the one time I'm playing with the source of the thing and I can't even tell, even if I just saw body language, I'd be like, okay, I need to lay back. I need to, no clue at all.
Clue.
The back of my neck is burning. I'm like, what is going on back there? And anyway, but Vic said, I left and everything. And Vic called me the next day and said he loved you. Oh, okay, great.
Nice.
God. But I mean, I was like nervous.
Like couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I ruined it. I thought I ruined it. And then I finally, one day saw the video and Leo's like, all right, now I'm going to demonstrate. And when the track starts with a drum vamp and he was kind of, And I was like, oh, okay. At least he, he was kind of like, I could tell he dug it. So I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, because you don't want to go down in history as the guy that made Leo be like, nah, get this kid out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was John set me up for that one.
Oh, no, John's a good dude. Yeah, I got to play Sissy Strut at the Baked Potato.
Oh, hey.
In L.A.
Oh, you win. Yeah, that's awesome.
So they were like, oh, do you know this dude? I'm like, no, not familiar. It's like, oh, well, what do you? It's like, I can follow. It's like, no, there's a lot of changes, a lot of time. If you don't know it, you can't play. It's like, what do you know? I said, let me give him something fun. Let me give him something East Coast funk, whatever.
Yeah, we all know our
right.
Yeah.
So I said, let's do Sissy Strut, and everybody dug it,
Hey, man.
So it was great.
Well, you would never. It's got to be. You got to recognize, I would think, as a certain level of drummer or musician. Now that's like one of those things you're saying. Like you could even learn the pattern, and zig is zig. You're never.
Right,
so it's just like just do your thing.
And that's what I did. Like, I didn't play exactly like he did. I just got.
How can you? Yeah, we're never gonna.
I just kind of.
Yeah. That's a good example. Because you could, like I say, you could learn it note for note. Yeah. And it ain't never going to be.
Right. It's always good to make things your own.
Yeah. Well, there's nobody like you.
Exactly.
Like the one person,
Exactly.
All right. I don't want to run out of time.
No problem.
Desert Island albums, a few that could define you for us, just,
My gosh.
Off the top of your head.
Desert Island. One of them would have, going back to Fishbone, give a monkey a brain and he'll swear he's the center of the universe.
See, that is my favorite too.
Yeah.
Why is it your favorite?
I love it because there's so many different styles of music on there.
That's right.
You got
That's
punk,
the correct
you
answer.
got funk, you got rock, you got soul. It's got everything on there.
And they were never, because they're kind of breaking apart. So everybody's digging in.
Yeah.
So like Norwood is like straight funk.
Yeah.
Kenwood is like metal.
Right.
Like metal. Like
the first two songs, like Swim and Servitude.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Servitude's one of my favorite drum tracks of all time.
That one and the Rain.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Me too. That's so funny.
Yeah. And so
metal AF, as the kids say.
Yep. Yeah. And another one would have to be there's two other ones. I have a bunch of them, but these are the ones that are coming to mind. One is Jing Chi, which is
don't know it.
Which is Live at Yoshi's, which is Vinnie Colaiuta, Jimmy Haslip, Robin Ford.
Oh, brother. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Great record.
Yeah.
And then there's a super group called Hardware. Okay. They only did one record. I wish they did more, but it was Stevie Salas on guitar and vocal.
Yeah, sure.
Buddy Miles on drums
and
vocals.
Is
this is 91 or 92.
Oh.
And Bootsy Collins on bass.
Oh, brother.
Killer record.
I don't want to I don't want to be ignorant. I did not realize, but I did the Keith LeBlanc deep dive. Dude. So Tackhead.
Yes.
There was a later one. There's a version of them doing Higher Ground. That is bad ass. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That is some seriously funky playing. Like those guys are masters. I'm like,
you're talking about
it's
guys
fast and funky and everything is slotted. I'm like, man, these are grown-ups right here.
Yeah,
like,
you have to remember they had to when they were in the Sugar Hill days, they had to cut everything in one take because there's people waiting to steal their jobs.
Right, that's what you're saying.
And so
there's some serious playing.
So, same thing with Toto. When I saw them live,
right?
Like I knew they were great. That's why they're some of my favorite musicians.
Yeah.
But when I saw them live, I was like,
"Was this Simon Phillips?"
Ooh. No, it was Shannon Forrest.
Oh, okay.
On drums.
Yeah.
I want to see the new lineup with what's his name?
I don't know. I can't think.
From Ghost Note, the drummer from Ghost Note.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
I can't think.
Somebody. Yeah, I can't think of his name, but right. He's badass, man.
Yeah,
but so those guys, they when I saw Toto live, I was just like, these cats are serious.
They are
and it was just like, okay, I need to I need to step up my game a little bit more, to be that serious,
Yeah.
And so my band Thaddeus Black it's kind of like based off of that because a lot of we've done sessions together, and tours and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's form a band. So, yeah, it's just
Cool.
yeah, it's like that's the inspiration. And,
Beautiful.
And again, Living Color.
Yeah.
24/7 Spies. Oh,
Yeah.
that's another Desert Island album.
Yeah.
Soundtrack to the Innermost Galaxy. That's a great record.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Well, that was their latest release.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of when I barely remember. When you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, it kind of got away from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, for real.
But those love those guys. Love King's X.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So
Wow.
yeah, it's just some great stuff. I have a whole bunch of albums I would take with me.
Yeah, or I'm not going.
Right. He's like
Desert Island food.
lamb.
Lamb.
I love lamb.
Hey.
And dessert, any kind of lemon dessert.
Wow.
Yep.
Interesting. Wow. That's cool. How did you discover lamb? You just
My mother.
hey, there you go.
She started cooking it for Easter, and kind of like during the Passover.
Yep.
They put the blood of the lamb on the door so
Yeah.
death would pass by them. So that's
boy.
so she cooked it, for that reason. So yeah.
And you're like, hey, this is what it's all about.
Yep.
That's cool.
Love it.
Can you think of one show that you saw as a spectator that changed your trajectory, changed your direction? You think of one?
Man, I saw so many shows.
Yeah.
I saw so many shows. The ones that stick out for me are people like Eric Gales,
Yeah.
King's X.
Yeah, sure.
Again, seeing Toto live.
Yeah.
Again, I've always seen videos of them, and I'm a huge fan. But to see them actually live and how serious they were playing, I was just like, ooh.
Yeah. I've never seen them.
Oh, you got to see him.
So yeah.
Oh, Robert Sput Seawright. That's the drummer. The current drummer
Okay.
for Toto now.
All right.
Yeah, they got a few people from Ghost Note playing in that band.
Have to get into it.
Yep.
Fish is highly underrated as a drummer. Crazy.
Yeah, he
Crazy.
is.
I don't know why I can't. I saw them, many times right off the bat, and was just like, man, he's the best.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
good at everything.
Yeah.
He's good at everything.
Absolutely. I love the stuff that he did with Wicked Wisdom.
I don't know that stuff. So, yeah.
That was a heavy metal band fronted by Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have to get on it. I saw
before she went crazy.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know she was currently crazy, but that's
Yeah.
okay. I saw Fishbone. I don't remember how long ago it was now. It was pre-pandemic, so it might have been 5 years ago when they first started coming around. Chris Dowd wasn't back, but Fish was.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
I don't even think Walt was. I'm trying to think of, was Walt? I think Walt was back, but it was a weird. It wasn't like now. It's almost OG.
Yeah. I heard,
except for Kendall isn't there, obviously, but I did see Fish in the last 5 years, and it was amazing. Like that was why. I mean, I love them, but that was why I went. I was like, I gotta
see Fish.
I just now that I fully understand, and he was great. He was flawless.
That was like me with Bernard Purdy. He's playing when Szechuan was open in Hartford.
Oh God!
And I had to do a church service, and I told him I had a family emergency. I couldn't do the service.
Oh boy!
So I went to go see. I went to. It's like I may never see him again.
Yeah,
so
right.
I got to take the opportunity, and I did, man. He was great. Got to hang with him a little bit, so that was just.
Did you see the episode I had him on here?
I did not know you had him on. I got to
that.
watch it.
Oh, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
It was killer.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Yeah. I mean, that was one of those things too. I got to go. I got to stop talking. I love Bernard. I thought I knew Bernard. And then before he came, I did like a deep dive to do research when he got here. And it's just like, there's so many things that we don't know.
Yeah.
That it's just the tip of the stuff that we think of. Is just like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to check out that episode. That's great.
Yeah, it was, and he was so cool. I mean, I was, nervous as hell because I'm just like, and it went really well. I was really, really psyched. So yeah, check that one out. Yeah, and I also, I had Keith LeBlanc here too. You should check that one out. Really good.
I think I will. I heard you had him on twice.
I did. I actually did. That was another one. Like once I started, I was like, I'm not going to look for another guest. I'm going to get him back because we just towards the end. I'm like, wait, did he just skip over Seal? Like, didn't even. I'm like, I gotta hold on. We gotta talk about that.
Yeah, no, I watched both their interviews. And they were great. I told her, I said, man, I listened to both the John Peckman podcast that you did. That's exactly what he did. He just laughed.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of Trevor Horn. I kind of knew, but not really. I'm just like, oh, all right, I can't. He's got to come back.
Right.
Oh, we got to get out of here. I don't want to run out.
No, no problem.
I don't want to run out. Because if a card runs out, this never happened. I don't want that to happen. With Chuck Peterson, come back. We're gonna do a drum roundtable.
Yes.
You, me, Chersky, Paul Pedro, maybe somebody else, maybe Matt Starr. We'll try and get a thing going.
That would be tremendous.
That would be really funny.
That'd be tremendous.
I've been watching. I'm a little late to the game, but I've been watching Hot Ones where people eat hot wings, celebrities eat wings, and be interviewed.
I've heard about this.
We got to do something. We got to come up with some routine. We got to do something.
Just have a bunch of toilet paper on hand.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. With that, I'm pressing the button. You ready? All right. Chuck Peterson was finally here.
Yes.
It's a great thing. Thank you. I appreciate you coming.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we got this in the books. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, start looking left, pull a U, and you can't miss us. Dave will tell you how to have your very own podcast right here in our studio. Come hit me up. I got a list. People are pouring in. We're going to get to everybody. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you.
You got it. All right, that is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.